Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Julio and today we are doing Daily Bugle from TryHackMe, which is rated as a hard box. And this is my second time recording the video, so hopefully this will be kind of quick because I don't know what happened the first time. It did not work, which was not cool when I found out at the very end. So let's get started on Daily Bugle. First thing I want to do is I want to go to my host file and I want to add Daily Bugle. I'll just call it Bugle, and I'm going to change the IP address to match 221.241. Say that, and I should be able to. So that's the website, but let me see, I should be able to go to Bugle. Alright. So if we start looking around, we take a quick look. There's not anything here that I saw in the page source. I saw a couple of buttons in there, and of course I tried some SQL injection. And nothing up there either. Try that here. Actually, we'll just try admin, which did not work. After looking around this page, did not get anything from here. So, since I have a web page, a website, let's see if we can find anything using Firefox. Actually, we need to do a Rust scan first. So Rust scan Bugle. That should be good. So we see that we have 3 ports, 2280 and 3306. MySQL. And now we can go ahead and do a Firefox cluster. And we will make this Bugle and let that run. I don't know if it's just me, but this website was giving me some issues. Hopefully we won't run into any this time. So as we let this run, we see that we have Bugle, and somewhere we should have administrator. Maybe it hasn't found it yet. Administrator. Actually, just to show that I did it, we also looked for robots.txt, and we see all of this right here. And here we can see administrator, which obviously we are going to go to. So we'll go to administrator. I think I typed that wrong. Administrator. And we've still loading, but it'll be Joomla here in a second. There we go. And we want to know what version of this is so that we can find some exploits. Searchploit Joomla. And if we just type in Joomla, we see that there are a whole bunch. So we really need to try and narrow that down. And we'll take a quick look here and see if we can find a quick find or a quick win with the version, but we will not see one. And instead, what we will do is we are going to use, well, I'll show you 2 different ways. We're going to use a tool called Scan, and we're going to call this Bugle. So scan Joomla, because I think you can also use this for Drupal. And then we're going to run that. While that runs, we're going to go to Hack Tricks It took me a while to find the version. I was spending a lot of time. I was really focused on the website, looking where to find it, and then I found that if you go to Hack Tricks and go to Joomla, you get some really detailed information on how to find the version. I use this one right here. Then we see that we get version 3.7. And I wonder if we got it over here. Oh, that didn't work. Not sure why that didn't work. There we go. So when you run TryHackMe, you're going to get a couple of possibilities, but now we know that at least it sent 3.7.0, and that's what we also found in the XML. And I wonder if any of these work. I don't think I even tried these. Detailed version information. Let's take a look. It says 3.6 over here, but then under Joomla it says version 3.7.0. So more confirmation from TryHackMe. So that's good. So now we can do search, exploit Joomla 3.7, and this is much better. And we can see that there is SQL injection for all of these. So that is a good clue. And we can also, now that we know that, we can just type in Joomla 3.7 exploit, and we get to this Joomla Python. So I'm going to download this, and then I'm going to go back and bring it into my file. So I'm going to move that to where I'm at, and there we go. Python 2 Bugle. So Python 2 Joomla.py, and then just the target. And it's going to try and get us some things from the database. And there we go. We have a super user named Jonah with their email, and they have a hash here. So I did not know what type of hash this was. So what I did, well, I tried a couple of things. I copied it into hash identifier, and I got nothing there. So then I went back to the internet, type of hash starts with $2 bcrypt. So then I went to hashcat, and I typed in bcrypt, and I found a couple of different versions of bcrypt. So there's this one right here, and if you'll notice, there's a / and then like a couple of periods that are breaking up the hash. So I just kind of kept looking, and I found this one that seems to match. There's a / some dots. So I tried hashcat, And I'm not going to do it because I think that may be what broke my recording. I tried Hashcat and it said it was going to take 2 days, so it was extremely slow. Now bcrypt is a slow hash. It's slow by design so that it is harder to crack. So instead I tried, what I did was I moved the hash over to my host computer, which is also Linux for me. And I have some tools on there, and I went ahead and tried John the Ripper, and that was much faster. It still took several minutes, but I did crack the hash. And I'll show you the command I used. And here's what I used right here. So John -- wordless. Actually, this is from my computer. So here it would actually, and probably for you. Oops. Actually, let me just do this. Did I save that hash yet? I did not. So let me grab this hash. We'll just go through together here. Copy. We're gonna nano hash.hash. Paste. Now I have the hash there. And it's going to be John. There it is. -- wordlet. Rocky, and then hash.hash. And you don't have to specify, in this case I didn't have to specify the format. I'll run it actually. I don't want to run it, I'm afraid to run it and then break the recording. But when you run it, it says that it'll identify bcrypt, and after about maybe 10 minutes, it will crack it for you. So Spiderman123. So now we have a username, Jonah, and we have credentials. So we can go back to the login page and make our way in, hopefully. Jonah, Spiderman123. I must have typed something wrong. JONAH. Just copy it. Copy, paste, and we make our way in. Excellent. So let's not forget that we got this information over here about Joomla from Hacktricks, right? So if we keep looking, we find this awesome text right here to get remote code execution. And what it tells us is to go to the templates and go to where you can edit the templates. We're going to go to the error page, and we're going to drop in this little PHP script. And then you can either curl it, or you can just type it in the browser. So we go to, and I think it's actually a little bit different here than what Hacktricks explains, but I went to extensions, templates, and then it says click on this. I think you go to any page. It says error page, so that's just what we'll use. And then we're going to grab this little Python script, which is just saying basically if you get a command, if you get the CMD parameter, then execute whatever happens after that. And we want to drop that PHP code inside of PHP tags, because if you keep scrolling down, you'll see that it turns to HTML. And so there is one opening and closes right here. So I'll just drop it in right here, right after those comments. And there it is. And then it says click save and close. And if we go back, it just tells us, so this would be our site. And we should be able to get something just with that. So let's see if that's true. There it is. ID, who am I? Apache. Okay, sweet. So now we know we need to get a reverse shell, right? Lots of different ways to do this. I'm just going to use this right here. guess I'll just copy it. Oh, wrong one. And I'm going to use 443, my IP 1013, 6322. Everything else should be good. I don't have to URL encode it. It seems to work without it, so I'm not going to worry about that. At least it has before. And let's see what happens this time. There we go, connect. All right. So now we need to stabilize that shell a little better. And I have all my notes for that right here, so I would recommend doing the same or just memorize everything, which I've tried to do, and I get it for a while and then I forget. So it's just easy enough to do it this way. Copy, paste, copy, paste. And I got this from Siren, from who's OSCP or offensive security, I don't know, instructor. I'm not sure what her actual title is there, but you can find her on YouTube. She's awesome. And then we're going to do Control Z, and then stty raw dash echo. There it is. I already have it. And then stty columns 200 rows 200 enter, and there we go. So now the shell is very similar to your Kali shell, where you can use like the up arrow and stuff like that, and I think autocomplete too. We're in there. Where am I again? Apache. Where am I? I am in var www.html. Let's go ahead and see to my transfers, and I want to start a server because I want to grab linpiece from my computer. We're going to move over to the temp file over here, and we're going to do wget http my IP 1013 6322, and I want linpiece.sh. Let's grab that. There it is. We need to change mod plus x linpiece.sh so that it can run linpiece.sh. So remember, my original recording totally crashed on me, so I already have a lot of my notes that I took from that. I was basically just kind of going through and taking screenshots of things that looked important, and I landed right here. I noticed that under www.html administrator components, there was all these config files, right? So once this finishes, okay. So, I'm in temp. So I need to go back to var www.html, and what linpiece showed me was under administrator, and then com users, and then a whole bunch of config files. So I went in there for a little while and I started poking around. I didn't find anything, and then I came back here and I saw this configuration.php and webconfig.txt, which look like interesting files. So I'm going to cat out configuration.php, and when I go through here, I see some credentials, password, I see a secret, it says it's for root. So those are things obviously that I want to write down. We need to check if we have any other users too, so cat Etsy password. And when I do that, I can see that I have a J Jameson, a second user, so don't know what to do with that yet, but obviously that's something I want to save as well, so I'll just copy this and save that in my notes. And I know I don't have to go back into the Joomla dashboard. I'm already in there, so I decided to try these credentials that I found over here. So what I end up with that other user, and that's just good practice. Whatever you have, you find credentials in a CTF environment, just start spraying them against all the users you have. Most of the time, that's not going to cause you any issues. This isn't a red team engagement where we want to be stealthy, so go ahead and just do it. And that's kind of what I started doing. And then I landed on trying if I could switch to the user J Jameson. So I did sudo J Jameson, enter, and yes, I'm able to get to that user. Who am I? J Jameson, but ID is still 1000, so I'm not a root user. I still have the same privileges. CD ls, and I can get the user .text file. All right. So now I know I'm here. What can I do here? Always check your sudo privileges, right? So sudo -l. The user J Jameson may run the following commands. No password. User bin yum. User bin yum. So that, of course, leads me to GTFO bins. I type in yum, sudo, because that's what I'm trying to work with. And after reading both of these, this is the one that works because this requires you to have FPM, which is a file package manager, I think, for CentOS. So that was not going to work. So what we do is we just grab each one of these here. I don't know if, I don't want to try it. I don't know if you can grab it all at once. Maybe you can. It says end of file there, so that's just what I did. So I'm just going to paste that in there. I'm going to hit enter. Sometimes it'll like auto enter for you, and that's still okay. I'm going to grab this section, copy. Maybe it'll do it so we have a demonstration of that. Paste. See, it automatically did it for me. And then the last section, or second to last, I guess. Copy. Paste. Enter. And then the last part is this right here, because we have to run sudo user bin yum. Copy, because that's what, those are the permissions we have, sudo bin yum. So sudo bin, sudo user bin yum, and then paste that last part. Who am I? We are root. Sweet. Let's go here. Cat root.text. And we have it. Awesome. Hey, thanks guys for hanging out with me again. This one was kind of, this one was, I felt a little discombobulated on this one because it kept messing me up with the first whole recording going wrong. Hey guys, thank you once again for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Otherwise, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, maybe a follow, and leave me any tips. I'm sure there's lots of stuff I can learn, so Leave those in the comments as well, and I'll see you at the next one.